Hey everybody, this is IndieGeek, and today I'm taking a look at the Yawhg. So this is a game that has been released for a while, and it is a game by Damien Sommer and Emily Carroll. But I'm doing my first impressions video on it because it should be available on Steam when this video goes up. If it isn't, it will be up later in the day, but probably not too much later. And it will be available for $10. I don't know if they are doing an opening week sale or not, but I will have relevant links to the Steam page in the description so you can go check that out. But with that being said, I'm just going to jump right in here. So I'm just going to play as all 4 characters. That seems like the best way to do this here. The Yawhg will be here in 6 weeks, and no one expects it. Not a one of us. We just keep on living our lives, week by week, unaware. So, this is the way that the Yawhg works. Basically, what we're doing is, each week we decide how each character is going to spend that week, and it's going to change their stat points. And then, at the end of that, we are going to basically choose their role in the new society based on what their stat points are. And I am going to do kind of one full playthrough. It only takes like 15 or 20 minutes to do one full playthrough, but that's because the point of the game is that there are like over 50 different endings that you can get to the game. So the point is to play it over and over and make different choices, because your stat points will kind of determine how you can react to a situation, and you'll kind of see that as we go on. I do have to mention real quick, I absolutely love the music, and I love the art in the game. And I'm only saying this now because I probably won't have a ton of time to talk about it throughout the video, but I will of course wrap up my thoughts at the end as well. Alright, so I'm going to go to the hospital and tend to patients. You spend the week diagnosing and tending to the sick. You gain 2 mind and earn 1 wealth. One day, while in the maternity ward, you notice a woman about to give birth. The baby she births is no ordinary baby, however. Its skin is pitch black and shiny, and its eyes glow like an orange flame. It wrestles itself from the doctor's hands and tries to fly away. "Stop that demon," yells the doctor. "Oh, well, I don't have enough of either to stop it. I guess I'll use my strength." You put yourself between the demon and the exit. The baby demon barrels past you and out the door, flying off to the night sky. Alright. Let's go to the arena and compete in a fight. You spend the week fighting brutes in the arena. You gain 2 physique and 1 finesse. One day, in between matches, you stumble upon one of the higher ranked fighters ingesting illegal strength potions. "Please, sir, don't report me," she cries. I'll even share some of my potion with you if you keep quiet," she adds. I'm going to report her. You report the fighter to the arena officials. They thank you for bringing it to their attention and hand you a small sack of coins. You gain 2 wealth. The fighter is investigated and receives a lifetime ban for the arena. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, maybe I'll go to the tavern and bartend. Or I could do something weird and just spend like 6 weeks drinking. Maybe I'll do that. That would be wild. Now, I'll try and do like a normal playthrough. I'm not going to do anything too weird. Not that there is such a thing as a normal playthrough. That's kind of the point, is just experimenting with the choices you can make. You spend the week serving drinks at the tavern. You earn 1 wealth and tips and gain 2 charm. One day, a bard pulls out his lute in the bar and starts playing a tune. Unfortunately, his singing is horrible and is ruining the tavern's atmosphere. You decide to do something about it. I'm just going to convince him to leave. You approach the bard and let him know that the tavern down the road is well known for its big tippers. He thanked you for the heads up, packs up his things, and goes on his way. You helped out the patrons. You gain 1 charm. Alright, let's go to the alchemy tower and brew a potion. You spend the week experimenting with different potion brews. You gain 2 magic and 1 mind. One day, you hear one of the alchemists shout, "Eureka!" When you look over to see what he's done, you spot a small, previously dead ferret come to life. "I figured out the antidote to death," the alchemist exclaims. The undead ferret lets out a horrific noise and lumbers about slowly. Praise the alchemist's accomplishment. "That's amazing," you say, slightly discomforted by the ferret's presence. "You didn't hurt the alchemist's feelings. You gained 1 charm." They say the last time it came, the Yawhg devoured houses whole, stole lives, tore families and family members apart. But that was so very long ago. Okay. Let's see. I think I'm going to the alchemy tower for potions with you today. You spend the week experimenting with different potion brews. You gain 2 magic and 1 mind. One day you hear cries for help coming from the next room. Running over to investigate, you see that the alchemists there have accidentally created an ooze monster. How do you dispatch the ooze? I will try and use my magic. You pulverize the ooze into a puddle with an array of magic spells. The alchemists all cheer. You gain 1 charm. Okay. Chop wood. You spend the week cutting down trees for the village. You gain 2 physique and earn yourself 1 wealth. One day you stumble upon a dryad picking flowers in a field. Upon noticing you, she runs up to you excitedly. "Excuse me, sir, would you care to dance?" she asks. "I've been wanting to dance for so long, but nobody else has been around to dance with," she says. Well, this is going to be based on finesse, so I'm going to not dance. "Well, you're no fun," she replies. She turns into a flurry of leaves and flies away. Let's see. Let's go to the gardens and meditate. You spend the week in deep meditation. You gain 1 magic and 2 mind. One day, on your way home from the park, you come across a golden ring in the grass. Wear the ring. Upon placing the ring on your finger, orange glowing markings appear on the outside of the band. The markings unravel themselves from the ring and swirl in front of you. They form into what appears to be a fully armored ghost, radiating a beautiful orange light. The ghost turns to you and nods before walking away. The ring looks good on you. Plus 1 charm. And then, let's see. How am I doing? Yeah, maybe I'll go to the palace and attend the ball. You spend the week attending fancy gatherings. You gain 2 charm and 1 finesse. I really love all these different paintings that come up. They're all just really, really well done. Like, I seriously really love the art in this game, and I love the music as well. One day the king approaches you. "Excuse me, but you look like someone who I can confide in," he says. "I really want a prince to take over the throne, but the queen and I aren't exactly active in the bedroom." He blushes a little. "Do you have any advice on how I could romance the queen, so to speak?" Teach the king your ways. You spend hours drawing a bunch of diagrams and going through scenarios with the king. By the end of it, he's just as charming as you are. He thanks you and hands you a large sack of coins as a reward. You gain 3 wealth. Later that night, you get the sinking feeling that you might have actually made things worse. It was honest in a heartbeat, or so the stories go. The earth shook, the air went still. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go to the hospital, tend to patients again. You spend the week diagnosing and tending to the sick. You gain 2 mind and earn 1 wealth. One day you hear spooky sounds echoing through the hospital. Soon afterwards, a glowing blue ghost floats down from the ceiling. She seems to be wandering the halls aimlessly, howling out horrible noises. She doesn't appear to realize that she is freaking everyone out. You decide to do something about it. I'm going to talk calmly to the ghost. You approach the spirit and try to explain to her the effect she is having on the sick. You're not convincing enough to be able to persuade her to stop her haunting. Eventually, everyone gets used to her and learns to live with the creepy ghost. Well, that's unfortunate. Let's go to the slums. Fight crime. You spend the week outsmarting and beating up criminals. You gain 1 mind, 1 physique, and 1 finesse. One day, while wandering the slums, you notice that the stones used to line the road seem to have a certain pattern to them. You don't manage to figure out the mystery, but you still feel pretty smart for noticing the patterns of the tiles. You gain 1 mind. Okay. So, I'm kind of trying to like think ahead to kind of what I'm going to need each person to be. You spend the week in deep meditation. You gain 1 magic and 2 mind. One day you come across an elderly man snoozing on the grass. You there, young person. He waves you over. I'm having an awful time trying to nap in the bright sun. Do you mind giving me some shade? I'm going to decline. The old man seems pretty creepy, so you mutter something about having an appointment and excuse yourself. Okay, and then... Yeah, I wonder, what do I want to do here with this? Maybe go to the alchemy tower. Brew potion. You spend the week experimenting with different potion brews. You gain 2 magic and 1 mind. One day, all the alchemists decide to take a break from work and instead throw a cantrip party. One alchemist waves his hand and produces confetti in front of him. Another spawns a seemingly endless number of doves from his sleeves. Then all the alchemists turn to you to see what you can come up with. With a snap of your fingers, you bring a chair to life. You sit atop of it, and ride it around the room. Everybody else is quite impressed. You gain 2 charm. And then the world was a howling fury. Chaos, screaming. The sound of all we knew being pulled in half. So, one of the things that I really, really enjoy about this game is it kind of like keeps pulling you. There's like a real give and take between like happy events and then like really melancholy things. And so like the weeks, what happens with your choices during the week are typically pretty happy, but then the kind of the interludes in between the weeks are very melancholy. And the same thing kind of happens with the music, in that the chord progression they use, you kind of get this feeling that it's going to go into kind of a happy way, and then it doesn't really, and it becomes much sadder. You spend the week in deep meditation. You gain 1 magic and 2 mind. One day, an old woman approaches you. I have a small pouch of magic beans. Would you be interested in purchasing them? Of course I would. You spend 1 wealth on the beans. Later, you decide to plant them in a small, rarely visited part of the garden. Okay. Let's go to the... let's go to the forest and hunt. You spend the week hunting defenseless critters. You gain 2 finesse and sell the pelts for 1 wealth. One day, during your forest excursions, you stumble upon a swarm of rats. At first, you jump backwards in shock, but then you start to hear them conversing with one another. They call you over. "Excuse me, sir," one of them says in a high-pitched voice. "Do you think you might be able to help us out with something? You see, we're trying to elect our new leader, but it seems our votes are completely tied. We're trying to decide between Seedpaw the Vengeful and Blightooth the Wise," says the rat. Seedpaw steps forward. "If you vote for me, the rats will have a powerful leader, one who isn't afraid to take our fight to the enemy," proclaims Seedpaw. Blightooth steps up. "If you vote for me, good sir, I will lead these rats to an age of enlightenment," says Blightooth. "Which rat do you choose?" "I'm going to choose Seedpaw." Half the rats roar with tiny applause. Blightooth bows his head and walks back into the mass of rats. Seedpaw climbs up onto your shoulder and whispers fighting tips into your ear as thanks. You gain 1 finesse and 1 physique. Okay, and then let's see here. How is our charm doing for everyone? So I think what I So I think what I probably want to do is go to the tavern and bartend. You spend the week serving drinks at the tavern. You earn 1 wealth in tips and gain 2 charm. One day, while in the tavern, you hear a large commotion outside. Sure, I'll go outside. Outside, you see a crowd of angry people carrying torches and pitchforks. "Kill the dryad," they chant in a sort of synchronized cacophony. They are all running to the middle of the town. Working your way through the mob, you find a dryad running away. I was just looking for someone to dance with, she sobs. You shout at the top of your lungs for the crowd to stop what they're doing. You hear murmurs in the crowd. Soon enough, the crowd disperses. The Dryad runs up to you and gives you a kiss on the cheek. You feel energy radiate through your body. You gain 3 finesse. That was a pretty big boost. Alright, and then... yeah, we're going to continue to try and gain magic. You spend the week experimenting with different potion brews. You gain 2 magic and 1 mind. One day, an artificer stops by for a visit. She is adorned with magical gadgets and gizmos, and is followed everywhere by her clockwork spider. The alchemists of the tower all go out of their way to impress the artificer, offering her an array of potions and elixirs. However, as she leaves, she turns to you and says, "You, I like you." She offers you a choice of one of her trinkets. Ring of Clever Thoughts, or Ring of Swift Movement. I'm gonna go with Clever Thoughts. The ring gains you 3 mind. The alchemists are jealous. When it arrives this time, how will we fare? Will we once more rebuild, move on, be strong, or have we forgotten? I gotta point out, that's like a really, really powerful music change there. And this is the point in the game where it starts to become really, really melancholy. And, you know, that's because there's only 2 weeks left. I mean, we are just about at the end of all of this here, unfortunately. Yeah, let's go to the hospital, attend to patients again. You spend the week diagnosing and tending to the sick. You gain 2 mind and earn 1 wealth. One day, the patient whose voice has been cursed and replaced with piano notes will not stop talking. All the other patients are complaining that his voice is making the hospital even more depressing. The doctors have tried convincing him to stop talking, but to no avail. Try to decipher what he's saying. You listen to his piano keys and manage to work out that all he wants is for his pillow to be fluffed. You fluff his pillow for him, and he sounds extremely grateful. You gain 2 charm. Okay, so this is all kind of important because we are really just about at the end here. So, let's do this and chop wood. You spend the week cutting down trees for the village. You gain 2 physique and earn yourself 1 wealth. One day you come across a group of people in the woods. From the expressions on their faces, they appear to be lost. I will help them. You confront the group and try to help them find their way back to town. With ease, you lead everyone back to town. Extremely grateful, the group gives you a small token of their appreciation. You gain 2 wealth. Alright. And let's see. Sure. I make a lot of the same choices over and over, like week after week, but a lot of that is because I'm trying to get people with like really high amounts of one certain stat, and you'll see why when we get past week 6. You spend the week serving drinks at the tavern. You earn 1 wealth and tips and gain 2 charm. One day, while in the tavern, a heated argument erupts between 2 patrons. Soon enough, fists are flying and everybody seems to be joining in on the violence. I'm going to break up the fight. You jump on top of the table and yell a plea to the patrons to stop all the violence. Before you know it, everybody is calmed down and chatting to one another like nothing ever happened. "Thanks for that," says the bartender while slipping you a small sack of coins. You gain 1 wealth. Okay. And yeah, we want to keep raising our magic, so brew another potion. You spend the week experimenting with different potion brews. You gain 2 magic and 1 mind. One day, while in the tower, one of the alchemists asks you to watch his potion while he's out. Soon after he leaves, the potion begins bubbling out of control. If you don't do something soon, it'll explode. I'm gonna throw it out the window. You toss the potion out the window and watch its contents empty into the town's water supply. Oh, that was a bad choice. Quick thinking. You gain 1 mind. You take off early for the day, hoping nobody finds out. The Yawhg. It's almost here. Almost. So, this is where everything kind of comes to a head. We have to really make sure. So my goal here is to try and get people to 15 in 1 stat, and it looks like I'm going to be able to do it. And that's just kind of from experience of what I've noticed so far. Seems to be a good choice. You spend the week in deep meditation. You gain 1 magic and 2 mind. Walking past a pond one day, you see a fat little frog sitting in a lily pad. Please, miss, the frog begs. I'm not a frog at all, but an enchanted prince. If you could see your way to kissing me, it would break the curse and return me to normal. Sure. You bend down and kiss the frog. Suddenly, the frog is enveloped in a cloud of shimmering fog. When the fog clears, the frog is gone, and a tall, regal man is standing in the pond instead. He thanks you for helping him and gives you a handsome reward. You gain 2 wealth. As word spreads of your deed, your reputation improves. You gain 1 charm. That was a super good choice. Let's go to the arena, compete, and fight. You spend the week fighting brutes in the arena. You gain 2 physique and 1 finesse. One day, in the middle of a match, a small baby with jet black skin and glowing eyes flies in the center of the arena. Fire erupts from his eyes, melting the flesh off one of the fighters. The baby then shapeshifts slowly into a gargantuan horned demon. Before I go on a murderous rampage, will anyone dare challenge me to a duel? Asked the demon. Well, I have a lot of physique. I think I might try it. Well, look at what we have here, the demon says, responding to you stepping forward. You pull out your weapon ready for combat. The demon tilts its head forward and charges. You run full speed at the charging demon with your weapon raised above your head. You cleave right through the demon. It bursts into countless black tendrils that then pierce through your body. You gain 2 physique. You gain 2 finesse. You gain 2 mind, 2 charm, 3 magic. Wow. Wow. Holy cow. That was amazing. Okay. And we will do the tavern again because I want to try and get 15 charm here. You spend the week serving drinks at the tavern. You earn 1 wealth and tips and gain 2 charm. One day, the tavern throws its annual dart tournament. Sure. You sign up for the dart tournament, ready to prove your dart-throwing prowess. You play a respectable game of darts and end up coming in 2nd place. You win 2 wealth and a confidence boost of 1 charm. Perfect. And then... yeah. Sorry that I do things so repetitively, but that's just kind of what I'm doing here to show off the ending. You spend the week experimenting with different potion brews. You gain 2 magic and 1 mind. Nothing out of the ordinary happens to you this week. The storm arrives in the night. By the morning, it still rages. For 3 full days, the tempest puts us through a grinder, drowns us, crushes us, ruins us. But then it ends. We see the graveyard our home has become. Our home. Does anything yet live? Is it? Are we past saving? Alright, so now is the part where we choose what each person's going to be. So, I think what makes the most sense here is for the blue girl to be the doctor. You take it upon yourself to help the sick and injured from the Yawhg. You're able to fix up most of your patients in no time at all. This means that there are more people to help with rebuilding the town. This helps the survival effort considerably. Green is definitely going to be our builder. You take it upon yourself to help rebuild the town by hand. You rebuild homes at breakneck speed, impressing the rest of the survivors. This helps the rebuilding effort significantly. And then red, we are going to have be the leader. You take it upon yourself to be the leader of the survivors. You expertly delegate and prioritize tasks. You give motivating speeches and act as an effective mediator in disputes. This helps the rebuilding effort significantly. And then finally, Conjurer. You take it upon yourself to help conjure up supplies for the town. With your magic, you summon supplies of the highest caliber. With little effort, you're summoning high-quality lumber and food from out of nowhere. This helps the rebuilding effort significantly. And so, we set about our tasks, once more living our lives, this time in a way we might never have expected, or even wanted. But in the end, we flourished. Towers, once wrecked and ravaged, rose towards the sky. Trees again took root, then blossomed. We all blossomed. And though it took a long while, and though it took a lot from us, our future is bright. Should the Yawhg ever return, we will be ready. So, I'm going to kind of start wrapping up my thoughts here. We get one more kind of ending where we see what happens with each of our characters. And I gotta say, I mean, I've already mentioned how much I love the music and how much I love the art, but I really love the way the story works out as well. And what we're gonna see here is I kind of, like, it's a little morbid, but I love the way that every time something positive happens in the story, there's kind of a negative counterpart. And the reason I like that is because that's so true of like of kind of how real life works, you know? Like no one has like only positive things happen to them, because what kind of gives us our character is the balance between positive and negative. So even though we only see these characters for 6 weeks and we basically build the characters, there's still like a ton of depth to them, and that's really impressive to me for a game that not only is done in like 20 minutes but has so many endings. So there's so many different outcomes of these characters as well, and in every situation the characters have tons of depth, and I really like that. So I'm going to wrap up the ending here. The Yawhg changed you, probably for the better. With the town rebuilt, you decide to retake your role as a doctor in the hospital. There you make friends with another doctor. The two of you do everything together, you're inseparable. Eventually you decide to get an apartment and live with each other. Then your friend gets married and everything changes. Their spouse has to move away to a new town, and your friend follows. You try to keep in touch by mail, but the letters start to come less and less frequently. You try to fraternize with the other doctors. While they're all nice people, nothing can compare. So that was kind of what I was talking about, was like, even though the town is really happy, kind of our characters that work so hard to bring the town back to this, like they've still got the same kind of disappointments in their life. With the town rebuilt, you are properly recognized as the one who slew the horrible demon in the arena. A holiday is created in your honor, and you are paraded around the city annually. You never have to buy anything, as everyone gives you things for free. It's not all amazing, however. You've noticed ever so slowly small bumps starting to poke out of your forehead. One day, on your way home, you spot a one-armed man in your entranceway. He walks up to you. "I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I must end you before it's too late," he says. He pulls out an enormous blade from inside his jacket. He swings the blade around wildly. You catch his sword between your hands and snap it like a twig. This cuts you, but only just barely. You grab one of the blade shards and jam it into his throat. He drops immediately. You leave the gurgling man to die and walk into your house. While washing your hands off, you notice you're oozing pure darkness instead of blood. With the old tavern owner dying in the Yawhg, you decide to take on the task. Before long, the tavern's busier than ever, filled with good music, games, and friends. Your tavern's doing so great that every other tavern in the area is closed down. You start a chain of taverns throughout the city to fill the demand. Each new tavern you open makes it more difficult to manage all of them. You begin enacting policies that make it easier for you to keep track of how the taverns are being run. The taverns all start to become bland and uninteresting places to be, but since you have a monopoly, you're still making ridiculous amounts of money. With the town rebuilt, you decide to celebrate. You organize a huge festival in honor of the bravery that helped save so many lives. The first one is so successful you decide to make it an annual tradition. Each year the festival gets bigger and more elaborate, and every year it costs more and more money to put on. You have to start charging admission, and no one is happy about it. The annual festival slowly fades out of relevance, and before long it's cancelled completely. You don't really know what to do with your life after all of that. So that is kind of how a playthrough of the Yawhg works. Like I said, it's only $10, and considering how many endings there are, I mean, it took me 20 minutes and there's 50 endings, so, well, more than 50 endings, so that's a lot of playtime, so you're definitely going to get your playtime out of it. And this is a game that I definitely recommend to everyone, just simply because the stories are so good and the characters are so well written. Like, I think it's a really, really kind of realistic look at how we handle disasters. And I think one of my favorite things about it is that in the end it's never really the Yawhg that kind of destroys civilization and brings disappointment. It's kind of more ourselves, which I think is I think that draws a lot of parallels to kind of our own society. I think it gives kind of an important message. It's a morbid one, it's kind of a sad message, but it's an important message all the same. But I am going to wrap it up there. This game definitely gets my recommendation. I really think that everyone should go check it out, especially if you saw this and thought it looked interesting. Like, go check it out and see what kind of crazy endings you can get, because that was me trying to get kind of a good ending, and there are definitely bad endings as well, I can tell you that. So As always, feel free to leave comments if there's anything you'd like to comment on. Subscribe to my channel for more of my videos every single day. And if you liked my video of the Yawhg, please consider clicking the like button, because that could help me out a lot, and I appreciate everything that you do to help. So with all of that being said, I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.